Hello.
Hello. Oh, here I was hoping I was going to get it before you, and we
Oh,
heard it at the same
sorry.
time.
Sorry.
No, 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 no. It's what I get for leaving it just too long, and after we said 3, 2, 1 to make sure that you were actually recording and you had an adequate cut time.
Well, yes, we're back. How are you?
Tired.
Right.
One has not been sleeping great.
Sorry.
One woke at roughly, oh, I don't know, 1:30 this morning for no real reason, and then again at like 4 o'clock this morning for no real reason. So you
Mm.
know, it's one of those days where I've not, don't tell work for this, but I've not done an awful lot.
Okay, I shan't.
And you know how those days always make you kind of tired.
So listen, you remember that, viewers. Do not tell Jordan's work that.
On paper, I've done a lot.
Well,
Just want to make that clear.
I've been, as we discussed in the prelude, I've been pretty busy. It's the summer holidays at present, and I thought it might be fairly quiet. As it transpires, summer holidays are when admin gets done. So,
And in your admin role,
yes,
doing admin,
that is me.
you have to do some admin doing the
I am
admin
a
side.
pencil pusher. Now, I just want to point something out here because I think it's kind of interesting. Wait a minute, wait a minute. You're going to see a reaction. Hang on.
Are we?
See those question marks?
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, they don't appear in the rest of the game. This is the only point where question marks pop up. I think.
Is it normally exclamation marks?
Yeah. But,
I've got a question for you, Ben.
okay.
Huwdunnit?
I did no such thing.
No, no, not you.
You know that's going to be a joke on Big Fat Quiz of the Year. You know, they're going to say,
Yeah.
turns out it was Hugh. Or no, they'll do the who was on first. Who you know who that was? It was Hugh. Yeah, no, that's what I'm asking. And they'll have time to write this. Obviously,
Hang
I'm
on,
just,
hang on. Hugh, are we talking about here?
yeah. You know Hugh. You know Hugh would be the infl. I mean, they'd have rehearsals and everything, so it wouldn't be quite as clumsy as this. But
Hugh, are you?
yeah, Hugh.
Hugh.
Well, for the benefit of our Venezuelan listeners, who are legion,
Just is that a serious comment? Do we have viewers from Venezuela, or
who
is that just?
fucking knows? I hope
Well,
so.
you look at the numbers. I don't
I
fucking
don't.
pay
Well, I look at
attention.
the numbers. I don't look at them in depth.
Well, I don't know what
Um,
sort of detail you get. Anyway, yeah.
yeah, I think you should start from the beginning on this one because there may be some people who are unaware of this story outside of our little Anglosphere.
All right. So I'm gonna go from the very beginning.
In
In
1960,
4 billion years ago.
yeah,
No. On Friday, last Friday, which is 2 Fridays ago for you watching, there was a article published in a particularly lurid newspaper.
in a fucking rag.
It's the kind of thing that you leave in a public toilet.
Yeah,
You don't carry it around.
yeah, like your phone number on the wall.
Yeah, you know. So anyway, the newspaper article published in there, you can call it an article, about how supposedly a presenter, a high-profile presenter that a lot of people know the name of, was paying to get inappropriate images of a teenager.
Yes,
Basically, the gist of the article.
it was now like 20, I think.
Yeah, so they were 17 when it started. They were 20
Yeah.
now. Is what the initial story said. Now I've seen stuff since then that suggests otherwise, but we'll just accept it.
The waters get a little muddy
They do.
as of
There
late.
was there was much speculation, and it later transpired that this was an article that the newspaper, the Sun, because I didn't name them, and I should because they're more like the scum.
Yes.
I stole that joke. Um,
That's just what
they,
they're called in leftist circles.
I wouldn't know.
That's basically exclusively what our Twitter, the people we follow on Twitter call it.
Oh,
And
okay.
I agree.
I don't really pay much attention to what
No, I am our
leftist
social
people
media
say.
person.
I'm
But
I'm I'm a centrist. I don't.
well,
Anyway,
that's
anyway,
debatable. But anyway,
I'm essential.
Yeah, we'll see. Go on.
So, it turns out this is something that was brought to the son's attention by the mother of the teenager.
Uh-huh.
The lawyer for the teenager has said that this is all nonsense and it didn't happen. It's what I got from the what they were saying. Apparently, it was nonsense. It was ridiculous. It was not true. Now, I'm not necessarily sure that's accurate, but again, what I think doesn't matter. And over the last few days, there's been all sorts of BBC presenters getting shit for it, even though it's not them. And finally, at long last, it's been announced by his wife that the BBC presenter is Hugh Edwards, who is the best paid BBC journalist. He's the guy who he covered the Queen's death.
Yes, it's worth noting just how big Hugh Edwards is in this country. And
Like there's not many that people know by name, really. Other than the locals.
he's the BBC's flagship news presenter. That's who he is. And
Like,
he's very good at his job, and I like him.
I honestly think if you were to ask people to name 5 BBC news presenters, they'd come out with 4 and he'd be one of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Along with people like George Alagaya, who I don't think does it anymore.
Andrew Marr would probably get a look in.
Andrew Marr might get a look in, to be fair.
Yeah.
Fiona Bruce would.
Yeah.
And I can't
Clive,
think of anyone else.
Myri?
Oh, yeah,
I don't watch news.
I don't watch it.
Because it depresses me.
I do it on the app, so you know. But no, this is one of, if not the biggest news presenter in the country, I would say.
Oh, far and away the biggest. I mean, he's really good at his job. He's a great news presenter. And the thing about great news presenters is they sort of have to be like kind of a father to the nation. It's a weird line they have to tread. Like when the Queen dies, he has to be comforting, but also sort of one of us reacting to it. He sort of has to have one foot on either side of the line, and he does it really bloody well. And he did some documentaries as well. I just want to mention he did a documentary on David Lloyd George and a documentary on Gladstone and Disraeli, and they're both great. So I rate him very highly.
A lot of people do, and it's a very difficult situation because what's happened since it's come out over the course of the last week, we've had that's been the big thing.
Yeah.
But there was a follow-up that supposedly he sent threatening messages to another young person. That apparently he's sent inappropriate messages to BBC colleagues past and present.
Yeah. And
it does all sorts of paint a picture that suggests that maybe we shouldn't necessarily idolize it.
Yes.
But, and this is the important thing. We don't know what the police have seen as to regards to there's no criminality statement, because police got involved and they reckon that from what they've seen there's no legal issue. But I saw a statement saying that they were made aware of other allegations, but they hadn't seen any of the documentation. So that suggests that they've not looked into all. Well, it outright says they've not looked into all the things we've heard about, right?
Yeah.
So maybe they've not seen the threatening messages, which was I remember talking to you about was the one thing that I thought was going to be the real nail in the coffin here.
Well, yeah, I think it's worth noting we don't often discuss the topics we bring up here beforehand.
No.
Like we'll mention we'll allude that if there's a big news story and we're both aware of it, it'll be clear. We'll mention the fact that we're probably going to mention it here. But we'll never discuss it in depth.
So much.
But this time it feels like we really did discuss it, which is a testament to just how big this story was in this country, or is in this country.
It's going to be a big story for a long time, because he's supposedly dealing with a major mental health issue. No, yes. I didn't know anything about his previous mental health.
He has suffered from
depression. I don't really pay attention.
No, I know. And I think this is probably the worst, from the BBC perspective, this is the worst person to be involved in this. Frankly.
Yeah.
If it was Gary Lineker, it would be bad because he's the highest paid, but he doesn't have the same amount of cachet and weight as someone like a veteran newsreader does.
It's not someone that you inherently trust, is it?
No, and I think it's important to say you're not saying you inherently distrust Gary Lineker, but you do inherently trust a newsreader. Is what
Yes,
you're saying.
again,
Yeah,
especially when you consider the things that he and they are
yeah.
responsible for telling us.
That's
Like
that's.
I saw a video on TikTok earlier, where it was the three biggest stories
Mm,
that he's covered, and it was a bit of a joke one. I'm going to level with you because number three was about 9/11
right.
in 2001. Number two was obviously Queen Elizabeth II dying,
Yeah.
and then number one was Bindi Mega Chipping,
Right.
which I'm sure you are familiar with.
Yeah. No.
Yes,
But
you're not familiar with Bindi Mega Chipping.
no.
Okay, well you're going to hate that, so let's come on to that later.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I think it. Yeah, there's a reason why he's done all of those stories, and that's because
yeah,
he's your veteran news presenter. He's your safe pair of hands. You know, I remember thinking when the Queen died, oh yeah, they've got Hugh on it, and that's why they've got Hugh on it because
hmm,
you know he's good at his job.
yeah.
He's kind of the best they have. Not that there aren't
The,
many great news presenters, but he's kind of in a league of his own.
the issue, because this is there's a couple of things I want to point out here or
Hmm.
comment on here, is that we supposedly the argument that the Sun has at the moment, now that it's all come out and we know who it is and everyone's been told to sort of give them a bit of space and all that kind of shit, is that they never alleged any criminality, is their argument. And that
Mm.
they were only reporting on a public interest story
Yeah.
of parents who were concerned for the well-being of their child. Because apparently the BBC did nothing as part of a previous "Hey BBC, look into this" situation back in May.
Yeah.
Now, apparently the timeline is police found out in April, couldn't do anything about it because no criminality. BBC found out in May, asked for follow-up details twice over the course of 7 weeks, didn't get anything, and now the Sun have published the data. The BBC have got involved, the police have got involved, police are no longer involved, BBC is still involved. The Sun are saying it's not our problem.
Well, I think that the term public interest is
Well,
one
that's
that has garnered a lot of criticism because, I mean, technically you can argue it's in the public interest. Really, he's paid with taxpayers' money because the BBC is funded not by taxpayers but license payers. So, I mean, there's a slim argument there, and
but the thing
I
is,
don't know. They do like to stretch that public
I
interest thing, though.
I wonder whether I mean I don't think you can argue public interest on this because the police are saying there's no criminality,
Hmm.
right? It is from the looks of things, the the matters regarding the sexy pictures are a non-issue, even though it sounds like they should be an issue based on one or two of the laws that have been floating about lately. But we're not
Yes.
going to go into that. I suppose
I think we should just briefly cover it. This is the law that
mm,
it's illegal to
yeah,
make or just
it,
distribute or to own images of someone under the age of 18. So
yeah,
the age of consent in this
legal age of
the age of
sorry,
consent in this country is 16. But if
you
you're under the
can't
age of
take pictures of
18,
them.
no.
But the thing is, right? We don't know when the pictures are taken.
Hmm.
All we know is that we're supposedly, or all we've been told is that we're supposed to happen between the ages of 17 and 20.
Hmm.
Now, if the pictures weren't until they were 18, then there's no legal issue there. It's awkward, it's uncomfortable, but it's not illegal, right? And I was saying to you earlier in the week, but when you're saying technically, it all feels a bit more sordid than it really is.
Yeah.
But it is an accurate point in this case, you know. So we've got that going on. So the police aren't involved. The police don't think it's a legal issue. So it's only a matter of whether there's any truth to the allegations of the internal BBC issues,
Hmm.
right? Because that makes it a BBC, like they need to get their shit together and sort something out, right? But
Yeah.
that doesn't necessarily make it our
Master
problem.
Ball.
It's not
Yeah.
necessarily our job to know that.
No, look, it's. I mean, I guess you can argue it's immoral and you can argue it's a bit gross, but at the same time, is it really our business knowing? It reminds me of a lot. Are you aware of Frank Boff?
No, I don't think so.
So Frank Boff was a BBC presenter in like the 80s, and he was this very genial, grandfatherly type figure. And he was a presenter, and he was seen much like Hugh Edwards as a fairly solid pair of hands. And then it transpired that old Frank Boff had rather a weakness for BDSM,
Okay.
and it came out that he was visiting a dominatrix, and that was in the news. And he didn't lose his job for that. And then he went back, and I think he did lose his job after it transpired that he was still visiting them. And then ages, like towards the end when he died, he was still bloody doing it. And that's his business, and I'm basically fine with that. It's not my business. It wouldn't matter if I wasn't fine with it. That's not an issue. I don't know whether the Hugh Edwards story is comparable, because as you say, we don't fully know whether there's no criminality across all the things that have been alleged.
We just know that the police reckon that this first major thing, which they would have seen the evidence on, I would like to think. After that, we don't know what they've seen, so we can't.
It's important to note that the BBC is still doing their inquiry.
Yes,
as well.
they are looking into it from their end.
Oh shit!
I feel like perhaps if they'd done their job a bit better earlier, we might not have ended up in this position.
Well, I mean, the
I think there's some
BBC.
blame there.
I don't know. It's a difficult position. Everybody's sort of the Sun, Hugh Edwards, and the BBC have now found themselves in a very difficult position that it's going to take an awful lot of manoeuvring to get out of. I don't know if Hugh Edwards will return to BBC News. I don't know whether he can. I don't know whether his name is now so completely muddied. Maybe he'll sue the Sun. I don't know.
For what though?
Defamation? I don't know.
Is it defamation?
If it's true.
I was having this conversation with one of the lads yesterday. It's like I don't think it counts if it's accurate.
No,
they're not saying that.
I mean, they can prove it, but
like no one's saying it. Well, again, we don't know exactly what.
Big newspapers like this they are on it when it comes to shit like this, right? They have a legal department that is shit hot and just on it for a reason, and this is the reason, because they make their money selling gossip about wealthy people in the public sphere, and they have to sort of thread that needle. And it's not like they don't get sued; they do get sued, but
they often get away with it.
Yes, it's
but they can also afford to not.
It's about. Oh, Google's evolving. I'll put a pin in that thought. I want you to see my big fat Google.
Hang on, I'm crossing somewhere else. I'm not looking. Don't skip it. Whatever you do.
I won't.
You can't skip it because I'm not looking.
Behold.
I'm still not looking.
You gotta look.
Why the hell did it look like a golden ice cream?
It's a big goo queen.
Ugh.
Our thick queen. Anyway, yeah. It's important to note that I don't know, but the fact is, a lot of the time they're not setting up to not get sued. They're setting it up to give themselves the best fighting chance in court.
And again, if they didn't necessarily say that it's a legal activity, then it does give them a bit of wriggle room on the.
Yeah, that's all. Give them a bit of wriggle room. They'll pour a shit ton of money into the lawyers. And of course, if he does sue them, if anybody sues them, they've already whipped up the Twitter mob, haven't they?
Yeah.
So it'll look like he's reacting out of guilt or whatever, trying to lash out. And if he doesn't do it, they'll say, "Well, you see, he was a wrong'un.
But it was true all along.
He hasn't got a leg to stand on."
So, it's an unwinnable situation.
Yes, for him. Murdoch is probably the most powerful person on earth, frankly. And he's done a great deal of ill to our society, and I'm not saying Hugh Edwards is perfect. I'm not saying we should rush to his defence, but I'm just saying this onslaught perhaps isn't as warranted as some people would have you believe.
I'm nervous about the lack of certainty around what the police have looked into.
Hmm.
Personally, that makes, like, on paper, it's none of our business, and he's done what he's done, and it doesn't matter because we shouldn't have found out about it in the first place, right? But the internal BBC thing makes me uncomfortable, and until we know for sure what's gone on there, if we ever find out for sure what's gone on there, I'm reluctant to pick a proper side on this.
I think that's very cautious and very fair. But it's important to note we're recording this on Thursday, the 13th of
Yes.
July. So who knows?
Anything could happen. We might.
Knows?
We might even get an update over the course of recording.
We could
It's
well
one of
do.
those.
We could
It's,
well
it's
do.
like literally yesterday, we had the police BBC news alert saying that the police have found no criminality, and then 2 minutes later, his wife was announcing it was him, and it's like, fucking hell. But that does make me wonder if maybe potentially that was deliberately held until they knew that the police were going to say there wasn't any criminality, just in case.
I am glad that you held off telling me. You let me find out myself. I'm glad I found it out from the breaking news on BBC because, as I said, I like Hugh Edwards, and
I didn't say my message, did I?
Sorry.
Well, the message when I told you that we know, I didn't include it, did I? That's cool.
No, you didn't. I don't know whether it was intentional or not. But I'm glad I didn't find out that way. No offense.
We had expressed concern about how difficult it would be to discuss this without speculating.
And Hugh Edwards has been the prime suspect on social media. If you YouTubed Hugh Edwards, it came up with news stories about this scandal.
I'd been shown a picture of a picture that he had supposedly taken to send, and it was not the sort of picture that you would ever take or send.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna loosely describe it. I don't believe that this picture is genuine, so I'm gonna put that out there. But it is a man who is supposedly meant to be him, mostly looking towards the camera, stood up, trousers around the ankles, and arse sort of out, but not quite. And you can't really, but it doesn't really look properly like him. But you can't see anything. It's not a sexy picture for anyone. Like, no one sends a sexy picture and backs the angle they do, unless they're really bad at it.
Who knows how what people get off on,
But it's the picture's been taken from the ground, Ben.
No, I don't know.
I won't send you it, but I'm telling you, it's not the picture that. If you were sexting someone and you sent that picture, they're gonna stop sexting you, right? It's as simple as that.
Unless they're a 17-year-old who doesn't really know any better.
Oh, there's another thing, and I mentioned this to you, and I don't know if you actually looked at the article I linked you to, but they were saying, and it's possible that some of his data has been conflated, so but they were saying that this teenager, this young person, was 17 when it started, been going on for 3 years, and they're 20 now, right? Yeah. But one of the articles from the Sun has got extracts of his text specifically about this particular person and the allegations about this person, and the extracts of the text have dates from 2018. That's 5 years ago, October 2018. So we're talking nearly 5 years ago, and I don't care how you spin it. 17 into 20 is not 5 years.
And you should know you're an accountant or a junior.
Assistant.
Yeah, there we go.
It doesn't add up. Literally doesn't add up, right?
Yeah.
So unless they've decided to take conversations from one and include it in the article about the other, which is entirely possible. It is for Sun. It is journalism. I'm willing to accept that.
That's the word journalism's doing an awful lot of fucking heavy lifting there. Jesus.
It is. I know. the Jonathan Pye video that I watched about this had more fucking journalistic integrity.
Yes. But
and
anyway.
He fell mostly on the side of it's none of our fucking business. Yeah. Do we want to know about what he wanks off to every night, sort of? Because that's what he's like.
Yeah. Anyway, moving away from that scandal, we're in the double team gym. Where it's,
Are you sure we're moving away from the scandal?
where every battle is a double battle. Double battles were introduced in Gen 3 in Pokemon, so it's rather fitting that they had a double battle gym leader, and we were going up against twins.
Oh,
and
are we?
they're
Twins, Basil?
they're kids.
Oh.
Yeah. But
Twins, Hugh?
yeah.
No, sorry.
Don't you stop it. Yes. But yeah, they've not revisited this since. They did some GameCube games, Pokemon Colosseum, which are apparently great, and they were all double battles. But I do sort of wish we had another double battle gym leader, Elite Four champion of this type, like a husband and wife champion team would be pretty cool. But
you want to double team a husband and wife?
We may well get it. Who knows? But yes, I'd like to take the opportunity to revisit an older topic.
Oh, okay. Which one?
Very, very briefly. You may recall when the Titan sub went boom. Well, I said at that time, and you repeated it in the video, that I was looking forward to seeing the first video essay that was going to be made about that whole situation.
Yes, I vaguely recall.
And I checked on YouTube today, and there was one posted 6 days ago.
Wow.
And it's 45 minutes long, so it's already happened.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Speaking of fucking lawsuits, that company's getting sued, I would imagine.
Understandably so.
Oh, God, yeah. But I mean, maybe the guy had them sign waivers. I'm sure he did.
You'd have to, wouldn't you? You couldn't justify.
No. I mean, maybe it was just an acknowledgement, but I mean, these are rich fucking people with rich fucking families. And richer fucking families now. But, you know, if anybody can hire lawsuits or lawyers to weave their way through that paperwork, it's them.
Well, you wouldn't catch me doing it. And you wouldn't catch me signing something like that. Unless it was going to be really fucking worth it. Maybe if it was going to go to space or something.
You see, I'm probably exactly the sort of person who would have gone on that submarine, to be honest. If somebody had offered me a chance to go and see the Titanic, which I've been sort of obsessed with since I was a kid, I probably would have gone, yes, please. And then,
for $250,000 and potentially your life?
Well, for free, if it was for free.
Oh, okay, well, that's the thing, isn't it? Doing it for free, you take a few chances.
Yeah,
doing it for that kind of money, you want to get your money's worth.
Yeah,
you don't want it to be a one-way trip.
These people are so rich that $250,000 might as well be nothing.
Well, but we're not, and you're not.
Yeah, but they were.
Yeah, well...
You know, if I was as rich as they were, I probably would have done it.
Well...
Yeah. And now I'd be jelly. And you'd miss me.
Hang on, are you saying... You say that again?
Now I'd be jelly.
Okay.
And you would miss me.
I was trying to work out why you would be jealous.
Oh no!
Obviously that is, but you wouldn't. You'd have been smushed into
jelly.
Ben jelly, Ben sauce. No, that sounds wrong. I regret saying it. I would like to touch on a previous subject as well, very briefly.
Okay.
You will note that last week we discussed the Fallout Boy updated version of We Didn't Start the Fire.
Yes, I listened to it. It was shit.
And yeah. I mean, you didn't necessarily specify any particular criticism with it. You obviously know that mine is, other than it being just not great, it's out of order.
I don't like... I mean, the rhymes are bad, and it is out of order, but I don't really like this obsession with this song. You know, like that, the period of time Joel Rifkin, or whatever the fuck his name is, Barry, what's his name?
Billy Joel.
The period of time Billy Joel was singing about was an incredibly important and transformative time. And while you can say the same of the last 6 years, it doesn't quite hit the same way, because it was about that baby boomer generation growing up.
The thing I wanted to
yeah, go
you're
on.
right, but the thing I wanted to mention about it is that yesterday, whilst I was cooking, I asked my kitchen Alexa to play We Didn't Start the Fire. And it defaults to Spotify. And it did the terrible injustice of going for that song.
Right. Just want to pick up on something.
Version.
Kitchen Alexa implies you have multiple.
I have 3.
Right. Is
It's
that
important to remember. I used you knew what my house was like before I moved into this flat.
yeah?
So I had one in my bedroom, one in the spare bedroom, which had become the office, and one in the kitchen,
Okay.
which were in 3 very separate rooms within the house. And so it made sense to, I could listen to the radio wherever I was, whether I was in bed or whether I was on the computer or whether I was in the kitchen or listen to music or whatever. I had, but now that I'm in a flat, I've got one in my room, one in the boys' room, and one in the kitchen, and they are basically 3 rooms that are next to each other.
Hmm.
Annoyingly, I did recently consider getting one for the living room, which is the 4th room in the flat that is not the bathroom.
Well, you know what's after that then? How much are
Putting
these
one in the
things setting
bathroom.
you back?
They don't. It's like one of them was a gift. One of them I got for free with something, and then I bought one for like 30 quid back when it was cheap to buy it.
All right. Maybe I'll get
Like
one.
they're not expensive
I
things.
probably won't.
No, it wasn't. I bought 2 of them because I got a Google Nest for free that I never
Mm.
used.
But,
But no, the kitchen Alexa decided it wanted to play the Fallout Boy version, and I got very annoyed with it. And then I had to specify which one,
the
which you
good
shouldn't have to
one.
do. It's like just because everyone's suddenly listening to the Fallout Boy one means all of a sudden everyone's going to want to listen to that one, right? And no, it's fucking bullshit. It's a shit version, and they should be ashamed of themselves. The song is bad and makes you feel bad, and that's the end of that.
Oh, shit, I fucked up.
How have you been entertaining yourself this last week, then?
Beg
Other
your
than how have you been entertaining yourself this last week?
pardon? Oh, I've actually. I don't know whether you're going somewhere with this question, but I have actually been watching a lot of Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Have
Yeah,
you?
it's
Is that an
my.
attempt to get good at riff track?
No, it's my comfort show.
Oh, okay.
It's nice and cozy. I love it. I should say, I'm going to talk about a bit more about MST3K, but I just want to mention that Fangs is fucking perfect for this because while Poison is very weak against psychic types, Steel resists it. So we're onto a winner here. But yeah, Mystery Science Theater 3000. Do you know the premise of Mystery Science Theater 3000 or
Aren't they
MST3K?
basically just B movies?
Yeah, the premise is that a guy who works for a mad scientist and his dim-witted accomplice is sent into space on a satellite because they want to do, and they experiment on him by sending him terrible movies and forcing him to watch them. And he passes the time by making robot friends and they sit and watch the movie and riff on it. It's very sweet and I enjoy it.
I
Recommended.
don't. I don't feel like I would enjoy that all that much.
That's all right. It's not for everybody.
No,
Yeah.
that's quite right.
And not every joke, very few jokes make me piss myself, but I get a chuckle out of a few of them, and I enjoyed a lot.
It's funny that you mentioned jokes that make you piss yourself
Yeah.
because my next not my next conversation topic, but the one that it leads into. Because obviously it was a leading question. I
Yes.
had an answer to that question ready, and then that response was then going to lead into another topic. But
Okay.
so
So I've answered how I've been entertaining myself recently. How have you been entertaining yourself recently?
I can't believe you'd asked me. That's amazing. I'm so pleased that you did because that really lines up to what I wanted to talk about.
Yes, we've derailed slightly, but we're back on course.
I was listening to Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Oh,
Jules Verne.
the old Jules Verne.
Yeah, and it was
Choppy.
being read by Tim Curry
Oh right,
because Tim Curry. We like Tim Curry,
we
and
do.
you know that little laugh that he does, especially when he was Nigel Thornberry.
Yeah,
I got a few of them, and that always amuses me.
yeah.
But no, I was listening to that, and I didn't realize just quite how fucking absurd the story is until about half an hour before the end, and they're trapped underground. There's no realistic sense of getting back home, and it all of a sudden there's a giant flood, and they're getting blasted out of an Italian volcano. So it's a fucking ridiculous story.
Well, stories were different back then. We didn't have quite so
I-
many rules.
I
Publishing wasn't quite so restrictive, I guess.
No, probably not.
You could write whatever the fuck you wanted.
But no, it was an interesting book, I will say. I enjoyed the experience. I think Tim Curry's portrayal of the three main characters within it was a little bit limited because he's not very good at Danish accents, and the two German accents he had were basically identical, which means that it was difficult to be entirely sure who was talking.
Right.
But outside of that particular detail, it was quite good.
Oh.
So yeah, I finished that yesterday. And whilst we're on Tim Curry, I was wondering what your favourite performance of his is.
Well, I do like Tim Curry, and he is very. He's one of those actors who has a very distinctive accent. Not
He
accent,
really does.
voice.
Hmm.
He's not been too well recently. I say recently, the last few years.
No, apparently he had
Um,
a stroke in 2012. I didn't realise.
yeah, yeah, but we like him a lot. Tim Curry. Hmm. What's yours? Is it Rocky Horror?
No. Wonderful performance, but no, that wasn't the one.
Well, for full disclosure, I am on his Wikipedia page because I know a
Oh,
few
that's fine.
things, but I
So am
want to
I.
remind myself. I can see he
I'm,
was in. He played Chancellor Palpatine.
yes, he did. He voice acted Palpatine. I recognised him like once or twice. I thought that can't be Tim Curry, and it fucking was. It caught my attention.
Apparently, he's released 3 rock albums,
Has he? I didn't realise that.
which is interesting.
Hmm.
Well, I
Um,
let's see.
a lot of the things on his list I've not actually seen, so it's going to be somewhat limited. But you know, I did enjoy him in what's it called? Forgot what it's called now. In Scary Movie 2. I
Yeah.
thought he was entertaining in that. I liked him in The Three Musketeers from 1993.
Hmm. Well,
You know,
oh, not this prick. Go away. I like well, the Wild Thornberrys I watched when I was a kid.
yeah, he was Nigel Thornberry in that.
Yeah. You know what? We haven't used Gobble in a while, and I'm gonna. Mhm. You know, the worst witch, I think, is one that sticks out. I remember seeing
I
him
didn't
in
know he was
that.
in The Worst Witch.
He's kind of funny in it. It's funny. Um,
I'm gonna go. I'm going to go with his role as.
oh,
What you thinking?
no, I've just seen. Yeah, he was in an episode of Poirot, and I'm familiar with it.
Oh, is it?
Um, yes.
Well, that's what I know.
You know, for someone who I know and like, he's in very few things I've actually seen.
Hmm. Yeah, that's what I thought about. There's so much shit here that I've not seen. I suppose a lot of it's actually a lot earlier than we would necessarily have watched.
Yes,
Like,
and he stopped. Not, his last film is what, 2010.
yeah, Burke and Hare, which again I liked. I liked that film. I thought it was all right, but he was in the Color of Magic,
Oh, the
the
Terry
2008
Pratchett,
Color of
yeah.
Magic. Hmm. No, the thing that I think is my favourite character of his is his role as Premier Anatoly
And
Chudenko
Red Alert
in
3.
in Red Alert 3. Yes, the infamous the infamous space scene
Yes, I'm
where
going to the one place where, without any capitalism, or where capitalism hasn't reached, or something.
yeah, space, and I genuinely I was watching it like 5 6 times in a row last night, maybe more. I don't know, just because there's that brief moment before he says it where he's stifling a laugh, and you can see just how fucking ridiculous he knows this script is,
Yes, but he's having
and
fun with it.
he puts on the most ridiculous fucking voice.
I always appreciate an actor who's in trash, knows it's trash, and just has fun.
Yes,
Um,
yeah. I mean that's important, isn't it? Is to be able to have fun with it as well as do a decent job. And I'm not joking. I literally bought the game today with intent to play it just because I've never fucking played Red Alert 3,
Huh.
and I want to experience it properly. I want to get to that point in the game, and I want to be like, yes, I want to do that bit from for Tarantino's film where you got Leo DiCaprio and he's on the thing
Oh yeah,
and he's
that.
pointing and whistling because that's the fucking moment, that's the meme, and yeah, and honestly, it cracks me up. It really does. It shouldn't. I know it shouldn't, but it does. It's brilliant.
Hmm. Well, seeing as we're on Tim Curry,
Hmm?
we're on Tim Curry. Do you want to do a connections thing from Tim Curry, or do you want to do a connections that you've come up with? Because I believe you have a couple.
I do. I have two connections.
Well, let's have
Um,
let's have one of your connections.
Okay, so my connections. Oh, hang on. What was your Tim Curry suggesting one? Was it him to someone else?
Yeah.
Oh, let's do that first. And then we'll do
Okay.
it.
Well, Tim Curry to uh Hugh Grant,
Tim Curry to Hugh Grant.
two actors
Okay.
we're not massively familiar with. So let's see if we can do it.
Okay.
We have just looked at Tim Curry's filmography, so we should be pretty on it.
Well, yeah, but obviously we've got to remember who was in the things that he's been in.
Oh
Right?
shit,
So,
no, fuck.
is it really easy?
Yeah. No, I mentioned he
How
was in
easy?
that Agatha Christie Poirot episode.
Yeah.
Well, John Hannah was in that.
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
yeah, no, he was in Four Weddings with Hugh Grant.
Oh, okay.
That was
Fair
fun.
enough. Here I was trying to work out which was the best angle to go down. No, you. Oh
Sorry.
well. No, it's fine.
Do you
It
want
would have been easy to get to. Yeah, you could have got to James Bond through Hunt for Red October.
Yeah.
We could have got to.
I just want to say, sorry, this letter has always cracked me up. It's
Hmm.
from Team Magma to the Space Center. How are you? We are doing fine. I like that. That's always tickled me a little as an opening to a letter from an evil eco-terrorist organization. But yes.
We could have got to Doctor Who through Burke and Hare
Mm-hmm.
for the Simon Pegg.
We could have got to Christopher Lee was in Burke and Hare.
Hmm. So that gives us Lord of the Rings.
So yeah, what?
There's options. There was a few options we
Yeah.
could have gone down to try and get there. We'd have got there, wouldn't we? So
Yeah. So we can either do your connections or you can pick another actor.
we'll do my connections and we'll come back to actors later.
Sure thing.
Okay. So this only works properly today. If it wasn't for the radio, I would never have come up with this.
Okay.
So I'm gonna warn you. You're not gonna think you're gonna get this, but you will probably get it.
Okay.
Okay. Status Quo,
Right.
the Style Council,
Right.
Adamant.
Well, they're all music people.
Oh, you solved it. Well done.
Which, of course, makes me think I'm not going to get this. But as
Well,
I've been previously warned, I should not think that way.
well, you might not get it. To be fair, it took you that long to understand what UK number one was when we were hinting at it
Yeah.
last time.
I should just say, Team Magma's plan here. Do you remember we were on that volcano a little while ago?
Yeah.
Where they're
Was it-
going to steal the jet fuel and just pour it into the volcano and make it explode. I don't know whether that works in real life. But they're basically just saying, fuck you. Anyway, go on.
Do you want more clues?
This is the this is the champion we're fighting with. You'll notice his Pokemon's levels are about the same as ours.
Is that intentional?
No, it's supposed to be much higher to signify his power. The EXP all, you know.
Ah.
So yes, 3 more, please.
Spandau Ballet,
Okay.
Elvis Costello,
Hmm.
Nick Kershaw.
Okay. Well, as you well know, I know very little about music, so I think the better call to action is to focus on why today is significant as an endpoint. And I don't know.
Fair enough.
Is it something to do with the time of the year, or
No,
is it just like a? Is it? It's not a significant date in history. It's something that's happened recently. Is it?
no. It would be a significant date in history, I would say.
Is it the anniversary of all those bands performing at Glastonbury or something?
What? No, Glastonbury.
Is it
No,
always on the same day, Glastonbury?
no, I don't think it is. Nothing to do with Glastonbury.
Hmm. I don't know.
Okay. Sade,
Yeah,
Howard Jones, Brian Ferry.
I don't know.
I think you're closer than you think you are.
So it's a significant day in history. Is it a music day in history,
It is
or
a significant day for music in history.
is
Yes.
it the day the guitar was invented?
And all of these people then being named because,
They've all seen a guitar.
well, I'm sure that connection would necessarily. I don't know what day the guitar was invented.
um,
Who was the last one I said? Brian Ferry.
yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm just working down the list. I've skipped one or two really obvious names, but
You say really obvious.
no, they would be really obvious names. It would give it away if I mentioned their names, their specific names.
Right, all these people retired from music.
Nope,
All these people performed
nope. I mean, at some point, yeah, but not.
on. But it's only relevant today. Was it relevant yesterday?
Well, I mean,
Was it referent? Was it? Was it?
the connection will still have existed yesterday. Yes,
But,
the fact that it is the anniversary.
okay, so it is a day. It's not a time frame.
No. It's a specific. There was an event that happened relevant to all these people, and it is the anniversary today.
Live Aid.
Correct.
Yay!
These are some of the vast number of people that did Live Aid. For reference, the people that I didn't name were the Boomtown Rats, because that was Bob
Yeah.
Geldof.
That would have given it away.
Ultravox, which was Major,
Right.
and I didn't mention Sting either, or Phil Collins, because they flew over, didn't they? Phil Collins did.
You know
sure.
I don't know that.
But yeah, Phil Collins flew from London on Concorde to Philadelphia so he could perform at both concerts that took place. So,
Who
but yeah,
knew?
no, all sorts of people. The Coldstream Guards opened it. You had who else? Paul Young, U2, Dire Straits, Queen, famously.
Yes,
Had,
I knew Queen did it.
David Bowie, The Who,
The Who?
The Who,
Oh God, we're
and
back to Who.
they were. I didn't know this, but I learned today that they were introduced by Jack Nicholson.
Ah,
Yeah. Elton John, Freddie Mercury, and Brian May together independently, like them as opposed to Queen as a whole. Paul McCartney with David Bowie, Bob Geldof, Alison Moyet, and Pete Townsend, and then obviously Band Aid as a whole. And that's just the London one. In the US, we had Bernard Watson, Joan Baez, I don't know how you pronounce that, Baez. The Hooters, The Four Tops, Billy Ocean, Black Sabbath, Run DMC, Rick Springfield, REO Speedwagon, Crosby, Stills and Nash, Judas Priest, Bryan Adams, The Beach Boys, George Thorogood and the Destroyers, Simple Minds, Pretenders, Santana, Ashford and Simpson, Madonna, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Kenny Loggins, The Cars, Neil Young, The Power Station, The Thompson Twins, Eric Clapton, Phil Collins again, Led Zeppelin, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, rather than just Crosby, Sting, Duran Duran, Patti LaBelle, Hall and Oates, Mick Jagger, Bob Dylan, Tina Turner, Keith Richards, Ronnie Wood, and USA for Africa.
right.
Fucking tons of people.
That's a lot of thingies.
That's a lot of people. A few people over in other countries as well. You had BB King performing in the Netherlands. Cool and the Gang from a studio somewhere. Cliff Richard got involved. Autograph from Moscow in the Soviet Union got involved.
Autograph repair.
You got to remember this was in 1985.
Yeah.
Right. So we're talking major concert in Philadelphia and London, and fucking a Soviet Union based group got involved. This is fucking massive. I think people forget that sometimes, just how ridiculously huge this was. And you know, yeah. So it's the anniversary of that today, and I didn't know it was the anniversary until I heard on the radio they were talking about it.
No,
So
I never really think of Live Aid, but I suppose it was pretty big, wasn't it? I mean,
fucking
I like learning things and I like documentaries. I've watched a documentary about managers of the England football team. I know fuck all about football. I don't really much care for it, but I thought that was interesting. So there's a good chance I might watch one about Live Aid. So full disclosure, this is my least favourite part of this game.
okay.
I fucking hate being on the sea because it's so open, and I like to cover areas and I like full completion of stuff. But it's very difficult when it's this wide and you sort of have to go from left and right a bit. So, in the interests of completing the series as quickly as possible, because I'm aware you're on your third game and I'm not even finished my first, I'm
Well,
gonna
I'm
endeavour
tinkering
to
around with
skip
it.
a lot of trainers in this. I know the way. I played this game a lot of times, so
I'm just tinkering with games. I'm not necessarily.
I know, but I kind of want to be more casual for a bit in future. I have some ideas. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah. But yeah, I have a topic.
Go on.
So a certain someone got married recently.
Ah, is it a really old guy?
What?
Oh no, he didn't get married, did he? He got proposed. Hans Zimmer.
Oh. I thought you
I
meant
was thinking
the
of.
guy in the airport. That viral
No,
video, the old guy in the airport who proposes to this old woman and it's very sweet.
no, Hans Zimmer proposed, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he
Or
did
got
do that.
proposed
Old
or
drunk
something. And
hands. Yeah.
he's getting really fucking old.
Well, better hurry up. No, this is Satan's favourite butt plug, George Osbourne, who, for those
Ah,
of you who don't know, was Chancellor of the Exchequer under the Conservative government from 2010 to 2016.
something like that.
Yes, he was one of the architects of Austerity, which means lots of public spending cuts, and an awful lot of people died because of it.
Mm.
He is not a good person. Now, two things of note happened during this wedding. I wonder if you know which ones I'm talking about. Are you aware of these stories?
No, I didn't know it happened. So
So, number one, I think the day before he got married, an email went around making some allegations. Only
oh,
George Osborne cheated on his. So the woman he married, he had an affair with her. She worked for him, and
of course.
cheated on her. Cheated on his wife or his partner with her. But it's alleged he's cheated on her numerous times, including with 16-year-olds
Mm.
and with I think the sister of Samantha Cameron. And there was
Oh
also
no, not
mentioned,
her.
yeah, when was the last time you thought about Samantha Cameron? And
You don't want to know the answer to it, don't
I know. I thought he'll say in the bath or something. Yeah, but it was also mentioned that there was allegedly a girl who was drunk out of her mind who could barely stand in a nightclub toilet.
Oh,
And so that was a big thing that went around. So the wedding day comes and they're leaving the church, and someone ostensibly, allegedly from Just Stop Oil, throws a bit of confetti on them.
okay.
And that was fucking huge. People were like, this is disgraceful. How dare they protest this man's wedding? It should be off limits. And first of all, this man should never have another bit of peace for as long as he lives, for what he's done to people. Oh, for fuck's sake. People don't really give a shit about, um, the people who die because of austerity, or a lot of people don't. A lot of people who claim to be left-wing and liberal, they don't give a shit. When it comes to actual
Mm.
meaningful protest, it's all about, let's do it properly and civilly. Civility. Civilly. Civil.
I get what you're saying.
But of course, that sort of protest doesn't accomplish anything. We would not have the weekend if it wasn't for more aggressive protests. We would not
Hang on a
have
minute.
what?
We only have the ban for weekend because of
Uh,
aggressive protesting.
yes, I know.
Wow.
Um,
We shouldn't have bothered.
we wouldn't have the a 5-day week if it wasn't for that. Women would not have the right to vote. Every social advance we've ever made, really, well, that might be hyperbole, but most of them, it's because we caused a fuss. I just want to note that it wasn't even that good a protest. It was a bit of orange confetti, and there was a rumor going around that this was something George Osborne had orchestrated to take attention away from the email.
Hmm.
And it's done a bloody good job.
I believe it.
But it's interesting to note that everybody's talking about Hugh Edwards and nobody's talking about George Osborne. And I get that they're very different circumstances. Because Hugh Edwards' stuff is substantiated. George Osborne's is just rumour and speculation at present.
Hmm.
But,
You know what else they're not talking about?
what, Boris's WhatsApp?
Boris's WhatsApp. Exactly the thing I was going to say.
Is this on your topic list, or...?
Loosely, yeah.
Okay, well, let's go through that, because I don't follow the news.
Well,
I see
it
interesting things
wouldn't
on
help you
Twitter
anyway.
and look into it. No, it wouldn't. But, yeah, please explain.
The deadline for getting Boris's WhatsApp messages from COVID.
I think we should explain what this is for the benefit of our
Ah.
Yugoslavian viewers.
There's an inquiry into the COVID response over here in the UK, which is fucking good because there needs to be an inquiry and there needs to be action.
Of course, there should be an inquiry. Yes, there should have been an inquiry if it went well.
Yeah, absolutely. What can we do better?
Yes.
Right? But because of the WhatsApp message, Boris was like, "Yeah, you can have the WhatsApp messages." The government were like, "No, you can't have the WhatsApp messages." They got a court involved. The court said, "Actually, yes, they can have the WhatsApp messages." Blah 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 blah. All of a sudden, they can't get the WhatsApp messages because Boris can't remember the password.
Somebody
It's
joked
my
that
understanding of it.
his password was the number of kids he had, and that's why he couldn't remember it.
Yeah, very possibly.
He's got fucking
But
loads.
the thing that caught my attention is that LBC. I've seen a video clip about this, and it's recorded footage. At approximately 11:05 on whatever day it was. Is it James O'Brien?
Yeah, I don't like him much.
You don't have to. It's fine. He was talking about how wouldn't it be ridiculous if the reason that the COVID inquiry hasn't got the WhatsApp messages is because he's forgotten his password, and less than 40 minutes later, that was the excuse. He'd literally told us the news before it was news, and that is just like you gotta wonder, did someone on Boris's team hear this and say, well, this is a perfect excuse for why we've not done it, or is he really that stupid that he's like that Boris has actually forgotten the password, or he had suggested that quite possibly another explanation was that he had lost his thumb somehow. Because that is absolutely a Boris Johnson thing to do, isn't it? It's somehow mysteriously losing his thumb. But
yeah.
no, it's one of those things where there's been a lot of posturing about this, and I think one of the things that really caught my attention is that the government were fighting against the inquiry that they agreed to have happen, and there's been quite a bit of that lately. People within government getting asked about inquiries. Because we had that with the one about Partygate, didn't we?
Yeah.
And supposedly, is it 7 or 8 MPs were named for having attempted to disrupt or intimidate the proceedings?
Oh, probably.
One of which was a government minister. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, they were named, and Sunak was asked why he hasn't acted on it. And he said because he's not had a chance to read the report cover to cover, and it was pointed out to him that it was only 3 pages long. That particular report about.
Also, if you're Prime Minister, you don't read anything cover to cover. There's people who do that for you, and then they pass on notes, like a synopsis of things they think you need to know. That's how it works. You don't have any time as Prime Minister. It's just footnote versions, clip note versions of everything.
I'm going to level you, Ben. If
What?
someone gave me a report about something like that, I was Prime Minister, and I had it was a 3-page long report, I absolutely would read it.
Yeah, I
Cover
mean,
to cover.
I
Three,
would,
three
I would
fucking
too,
pages.
but you know,
Where there's going to be some point when you are sat in a car or you're waiting for a
earthquake.
plane or whatever, and you're going to just have time to read it.
You're right. I mean, it's even if you don't give a shit, it's important for you politically to know what they're talking about. But at the same time, I bet he has. He probably has read it. Probably has looked into it. He knows
Oh,
exactly what's in there. Of course, he fucking does.
yeah. Like whether he had at that exact point in time. This was like a week and a half ago now. But you know, it's just ridiculous that 3 fucking pages, 3 pages, and he hadn't read it. That's a big old thing.
Politics
just
in
like
this
your mama.
country.
Have you been watching the Wimbledon?
No,
Do you follow the Wimbledon?
no, I don't
I
follow
made a
any
bit.
sports.
I know the idea that people might do physical activity for fun is a somewhat scary concept to me.
Yeah, I mean, I did archery. I was good at archery. You know, I enjoy a walk, but I just can't. I mean, if they were fighting to the death, I might give it a go. But yeah.
I've made a bit of money off the whatchamacallit, the Wimbledon.
Have you?
Yeah, I I put a tenner on my account. Right, I've got a Bet365 account. I put a tenner on,
Hmm.
and 5 of it went on to just saying who was going to be in the final. Obviously, that's not been actuated yet. Actualized yet, not actuated. And I put some more on just a few matches, and I ended up cashing out like 40 quid.
Lovely.
So I've like, it doesn't matter what happens, I've already made my money back with extra. So that's gone all right.
Well
I'm
done,
quite
you.
happy. Yeah, like you know,
Remember, when the fun stops, stop.
absolutely. And I was talking to one of my colleagues about this earlier, and they were like, "Well, be careful you don't develop a gambling habit." And it's like, look, I put a tenner on because I've got a tenner that I'm happy to waste,
Yes,
right? And that's how it should always be with gambling.
absolutely.
If you can't afford to lose it, you shouldn't gamble it.
Don't think of it as a way to win money. Think of it as
A way to
paying.
lose money.
Yes, as paying for something. You're paying
Yeah.
for the thrill of it. That's what that is.
If
You are paying for the
if
thrill of it.
if it doesn't excite you, you probably shouldn't be doing it.
And cut your fucking losses.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in deep, it's probably not going to get better. Another 50 is not going to fucking turn things around.
I'm absolutely sure. And that's why I only ever do like a 5 or a 10 in my account at a time.
Yeah,
Because I'm sure I have lost money overall over the like 4 years of having this account.
probably.
Right?
But
I'm
you can
sure I have.
afford. You know, you
But-
can afford it.
But it was probably like 100 quid over the course of that 4 years, right?
That's yeah.
You know, it's not like it's 35 grand.
Mm.
But
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. Sorry, that's a reference. A handful will get.
yeah, yeah.
We're referencing the first story of the night.
But no, I cashed out and I had like 44, 45 quid or something in the account. And I thought, you know what, I'll cash out the 40. I've already made my money back with extra, and I'll put whatever's left on a match. And that match won, so I ended up with like 20 quid. And then I thought, well, I'll tell you what, I'll put that 20 odd quid on whatever because it doesn't matter. I don't care. It's win or lose. I'm having like I've won anyway, right?
Yeah.
And I actually watched that match, and it was the most exciting tennis match I've watched in ages
Golly.
because I don't watch them very often.
I suppose that's one of the
But-
advantages of gambling. You are more invested in what you're watching.
Absolutely.
I've seen
And I bet
videos of people in films who have put money on the horses, and they're really into it.
you know, it gives you an incentive to pay attention and to root behind someone and all that kind of stuff. We haven't got anyone. We haven't got a British person left in the singles. I don't even know if we have him a doubles at the moment.
Are you It's sort of related. In fact, it is because it
Hmm.
does concern Wimbledon. Have you seen that advert with the guy in the wheelchair and his mum's talking about all the terrible things he thought about himself? And it's mentioned she mentions that he's won Wimbledon like 4 times or something. Paraplegic Wimbledon. Um,
I'm gonna level you. I don't see very many adverts.
right. Well, I have seen that, and it sort of blew my mind that somebody had won Wimbledon that many times. I don't know if that is a lot, and that I'd never even seen them or heard of them.
Well, you got to remember it's the para sport, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but that's why it not now, Amy. The world's ending. Um, that's why it stuck with me because it was a very clear indication of just how underrepresented and unknown Paralympic sports are, and their achievements are often pushed to one side in favour of able-bodied athletes, um, which is not fair
Um,
because that's an amazing fucking achievement. I don't think I could win Wimbledon. I mean, maybe I could do it once, but certainly not twice. You know. And God, this looks dodgy down here, doesn't it? Jesus.
just so that you know, Novak Djokovic, who is probably going to win it this year, has currently won it 7 times.
Well, even so, like 4 times is almost
No,
seven.
no, four is an impressive number of times.
Yeah.
The fact that they've won it and you hadn't heard of them, I haven't heard of them. I don't know who you're talking about.
Well, I haven't heard of any tennis players apart from a few. You know, I'm not big on sports, but I would think I'd have seen him.
One of the Williams sisters, the one who is still sporting, and I can't remember
Well,
which
look at
one it is.
this. Look at this little cutscene we've got.
Oh, it's like at the start of the games.
Yes, it is.
Was that Kyogre?
That's Kyogre and Groundon, and they're fighting.
Is Kyogre grinding on ground on?
No, they're just
Is
sort of
Kyogre getting ground on?
no. God,
Well, who's winning?
nobody. You'll
Oh,
notice it's raining for a bit, and then it'll switch to harsh sunlight soon.
oh. But no, it's all a bit of fun. Gambling should be fun.
Yes, I enjoy the penny pushers. Still can't believe they made a fucking game show out of that.
Yeah, it's
But,
fucking ridiculous.
hey ho,
I'd
my
be fucking
nan
amazing.
likes it, so
I'd be great at it. I almost always get the questions right because they're not that difficult most
no,
of the
they're
time.
not. The thrill of the game is in the penny push,
Mm.
much as it is. These two dimwits played God and it went tits up. Where the? Oh, there he is. There's Stephen.
Have you heard what seems to be the new big phenomenon when it comes to music?
Um, talent? I don't know what.
It seems that AI versions of songs where the lyrics are being sang by B1 battle droids from Star Wars
Uh,
is the new big thing at the moment.
I'm very fond of B1 battle droids.
Yeah.
I think they're cute.
Well, they have a lot of personality in the
Yeah, they do.
post episode one era.
They do. I know the Clone Wars made more of them, but
Mm. We have some in the Mandalorian as well, which obviously is post Empire.
yeah, there's probably a few rusty ones knocking about that have sort of been left to rot on some planet or been turned into some sort of sex exhibit.
Mm. Almost certainly. But no, this was that yeah. The thing that I saw, which everyone seems to be fucking loving, is a version of "Somewhere Only We Know," the Keen song. Um,
Right.
although you may be familiar with it more as Lily Allen, she did a Christmassy
No,
version.
I know the Keen version.
I prefer the Keen version.
Is there a reason for that? Not
What?
you preferring the Keen version, that's the thing that has sort of taken off a bit with the
I
B1
don't
battle
know.
droids for this song.
I think maybe it just sounds better.
Okay.
I've not listened to many. There's one I can't remember what it was, and then there's I heard one do "Welcome to the Internet." Whilst I was looking for shit to entertain myself while you were eating Chinese earlier.
Sorry.
Yeah, I wrote it down on the thing. watched Welcome to the Internet by Battle Droid whilst Ben 80's Chinese. Let me just cross all that out now I've mentioned it. Cross it out.
Do you I think how long have we been going on this?
No more than an hour 5, hour 10.
Okay.
How long was it?
Well, it says now 12, but I don't start recording when we start playing, so I think there's a fairly natural stopping point sort of coming up soon. I reckon, based on where we are in the story right now.
We have 12 videos left.
No, if we do a long video next time, because I've got one gym, and then I'm going to go and beat the Elite Four. I think we can get it done next week.
Well, I'm going to let you know now. I'm in the office next Thursday.
Right.
So I shouldn't think I'll be ready before 6:30. At the absolute earliest.
Okay, well in that case... Oh, see, I want to get down there, but I don't want to... Oh, I sort of don't really have a choice, do I, it seems. I hope this is the right way.
I hope it is.
But yeah, I reckon we can finish it next week.
Okay.
But I'll still have to beat the gym and then go through the Elite Four. You got that to look forward to, kids.
You mentioned kids a lot.
What are you suggesting?
But insights are suggesting that kids are watching this.
Well, it's
in which case,
I don't know. I guess
in which
it's
case
just
you should fuck off and do your homework.
it's a term of endearment, I guess.
I wouldn't know. I don't really endear.
We are the father of our viewers.
I don't find that many people endearing.
Yeah.
Not lately.
You see, you've been saying not lately for about 20 years.
I know. But never about the same thing.
Right.
It's about all sorts of different things. Because I have range.
Do you want to do the next connections round? Because I know you're probably not going to get a chance next video because you'll be busy. Or do you want to leave it to next video?
Oh, I've got it written down on my notepad, so I don't even need a browser to sort it all out.
So you can do it next video. Okay then. Actually, no, that's a mistake.
I don't even know what I'm going to play.
Well, shall we? I have 3 more topics.
Okay, well I've got 5 more. So.
Okay, so do you want to maybe do another topic?
Oh, we could do a actor to actor.
Why ever not? Why don't
Okay.
you look up some random actors for me?
Oh, I could just name some.
Okay, but I mean, it does sort of help because we do have a tendency to name actors that we're familiar with.
Huh.
You see what I mean? If you go random actor, it may be, oh yes, that person. I know them from this one thing.
All right, random actor generator.
Oh, for fuck's sake! The dead end.
Pick a number between 1 and 10.
13. No, 3.
3. Ewan McGregor.
Okay.
Pick another number between 1. Hang on. No.
Why don't
I've generate again. Pick another actor between 1 and 10.
3.
James D'Arcy.
Right.
I don't know who that is.
No. He
Oh,
rings
well
the
done.
bell. Okay, Tobey Maguire.
Oh, from who was it? Ewan McGregor to Tobey Maguire?
No, Tobey Maguire. We're not doing Ewan McGregor. We're doing Tobey Maguire to... Who?
What was the point of getting me?
Well, okay.
I went to a random actor generator. You picked the number. I had literally no involvement in this.
Ewan McGregor to Tobey Maguire it is.
Okay. Fucking hell.
I'm sorry.
You didn't want to say.
I know, but I just think we both know Ewan McGregor. We know... I think he was in Star Wars, which is sizable.
Yes, but you've got to, you know.
Okay. Well, Ewan McGregor to Tobey Maguire then.
Okay. Okay.
So
Let's have a
Tobey
think.
Maguire was in the Spider-Man films. Willem Dafoe was in those.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ewan McGregor was in Star Wars, but he was also in Moulin Rouge, and Jim Broadbent's in Moulin Rouge.
Okay. Tobey Maguire, spoiler alert, was in the modern, latest Spider-Man film, which had the likes of Andrew Garfield and
Oh, you say that, but there's been animated
Tom
ones
Holland.
since. I know the one you mean, though.
Okay. Point is, it's
Fuck.
the later live-action ones.
Yeah.
So which means that you've got access to all of the Marvels.
Okay,
Really?
I'm not familiar with Marvel. I don't know whether you
That's
are.
fine. I'm familiar enough, I think. Trying to think who. I'm trying to think in something that isn't Star Wars that Ewan McGregor's been in.
Well, he's
I
in
can't think
Moulin
of much.
Rouge, and that's about it. I know he was in other stuff.
Oh.
Train Spotting. He
Ah,
was in Train
yes.
Spotting.
He was in Trainspotting.
He was in that.
Was Robert Carlyle in Trainspotting?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Ewan
Are you
McGregor's
happy
in.
for me to check a connection?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I need to just double check. I'm checking this other TV show that I know that Robert Carlyle was in, but I think someone else was in a Marvel. So I just want to.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So Tobey Maguire was in that Spider-Man film that had the three people that played Spider-Man.
Yeah.
With pick Marvel actor
Yes.
who was in Endgame with Thor, who was in Thor with a guy called Josh Dallas, who played Prince Charming in Once Upon a Time alongside Robert Carlyle, who was in Trainspotting with Ewan McGregor.
Well done.
Thank you.
I've also got one.
I was pretty sure it was Josh Dallas, and I couldn't remember his name. And
Ewan McGregor was in Shallow Grave with Christopher Eccleston, who played the ninth. Fuck, he played the Ninth Doctor. I'm still sort of workshopping this, but if I can get to Peter Capaldi, because Peter Capaldi was in a Marvel film.
Was he?
Yeah, he was in Suicide Squad or something, wasn't he?
That's not Marvel. That's DC.
Okay, it may go to nothing then.
But you can do. Christopher Eccleston was in Doctor Who with Billy Piper, who was in Doctor Who with David Tennant, who was in the Doctor Who episodes with the Daleks in Manhattan with Andrew Garfield.
Of course. He was in the Spider-Man
So that
film.
works.
Yes. Well done.
Thank you.
Shall we do another?
Yep, go ahead. Hang on, no. Let me do the random generator again.
Okay.
Okay, pick a number from. Hang on. Do we know about any of these people? We only know about one of these people.
Who is it?
Sure. Mel Brooks.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, Mel Brooks. To pick a number between 1 and 10.
3.
Jurgen Prochnow.
4.
Elvis Presley.
5.
Troy Baker.
6.
Paul Walker.
Mel Brooks to Paul Walker. 7.
I think we could probably do it, you know.
Okay, go on.
Okay, so Mel Brooks was in Spaceballs, right?
Yeah.
Spaceballs had John Hurt in it.
That's interesting because I was thinking that because Mel Brooks was in To Have and to Hold with his wife Anne Bancroft, who was in The Elephant Man with John Hurt.
Ah, okay.
So we've got to John Hurt.
We've got to John Hurt. So now we just need to get from
Was
John
he
Hurt
in the
to Paul
Fast and the Furious?
Walker. How did you know?
There's other people too. Of course,
Yeah,
there's
there'll be other people. I don't know who was in the Fast and the Furious film.
Vin Diesel.
Okay, and Dwayne the Rock Johnson. and that's pretty much it.
Where else has The Rock
Oh,
been
hang
in?
on a minute. Hang on. Why do I feel like Ian Holm was in Riddick?
I think he was, you know.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to check that.
Yeah, no, you go ahead.
But was it the Chronicles of Riddick?
Yeah.
I am mistaken. He wasn't,
Okay.
unless he was in one of the other ones. But I don't know. There's one from.
Who was the chap who played Hannibal Lecter? Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins.
He was in The Elephant Man too. So it was John Gielgud. But I don't think John Gielgud was in The Fast and the Furious either.
Oh, you know what?
What?
Oh, it's brilliant.
Was John
Okay.
Hurt in Chronicles of Riddick?
No, no, actually, it doesn't work because I've gone from Chronicles of Riddick to Paul Walker, but that's not what we need, is it?
Yeah.
We need from John Hurt to him now. Oh, okay. John Hurt was in. What was John Hurt in?
It's Harry Potter. That opens it up a little.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're all British actors. I don't think Vin Diesel's done much theatre.
No. But he was in Marvel.
Yes. And again, unfortunately, Marvel isn't my. I don't watch them.
It's fine. You just need to know anyone that was in it. And can you get to Samuel L. Jackson?
What from Mel Brooks?
Yes. Or John Hurt at this point.
Hang on. The guy who played Tuvok was in Spaceballs.
Tim Russ.
Yes, he's the guy who said we've been combing this desert and we ain't found shit or something.
Oh, he was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
forgot about that. I've shaken his hand.
And I was there and don't remember.
Softest hands I've ever shaken.
Well, he can afford it, can't he? And good for him. He should be able to afford it.
Okay. So we've got.
But we've opened up Voyager, which in essence has opened up most of Star Trek, frankly.
Yeah, because Riker was in an episode of Voyager, wasn't he?
No, he was. Yeah, no, he was. He was in my favourite episode, Voyager. Which, yeah, tells you how memorable that show is. Sorry, Voyager.
Okay, so
I love this cutscene. But yeah, we can get to. I always like the music. We can get to What else has The Rock been in? Of note.
The Rock or
See, Helen
Vin
Mirren said she'd quite like to be in a Fast and Furious film, and I really bloody wish she had at this point.
Are we working out for Rock or are we working out Vin Diesel?
Well,
They
we're
are
trying.
two different people.
Well, we're going to The Rock. Well, we're not really going to either. We're going to Paul Walker, but
I know, but it was in Moana, the Scorpion King.
I don't know.
I think Marvel's the best bet for him, to be honest.
Okay, so he was in a Marvel film.
Yes.
Okay, right.
Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, maybe we can.
Well, John Hurt was in Doctor Who.
Yes.
I mean, there must have been a Doctor Who actor in Marvel, surely.
Well, yeah, we had Andrew Garfield, didn't we?
Well, yeah, we just go through Andrew Garfield again.
Yeah. I was going to suggest an alternate path, but I don't know if he.
I keep saying Britain has 12 actors. Three of them are John Glover, and they've all been in like 4 things.
Who played Daredevil in the TV
Ben
series?
Affleck.
No, Charlie Cox. Charlie Cox played him. I'm wondering if he was in. Where was it? No, television. The Defenders? That's the one I'm thinking of.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish this gym, and then it'll be on to the Elite Four next episode. But I just want to know, in the original, So in Ruby and Sapphire, this is Wallace's gym. In Emerald, Wallace becomes the champion. So his mentor, One, takes over, and One also uses the water type, but they changed it. Oh fuck! Oh shit! So One uses the ice type now, which is a much better change. So just a note. But yeah,
I've got another connection that doesn't involve going through Andrew Garfield.
okay.
So obviously we got to John Hurt.
I don't have a single steel type move on this thing.
We go from Mel Brooks to John Hurt via Spaceballs. John Hurt to David Tennant, who Doctor Who.
Yeah.
To the Jessica Jones TV show.
Yeah.
Which he was in. Which the character Jessica Jones, as played by Kristen Ritter, was in The Defenders with Charlie Cox, who played Daredevil, who was in the Spider-Man film with the three Spider-Men, which gets us to Marvel, gets us to Tom Holland, who gets us to Vin Diesel, who gets us to Paul Walker.
Lovely.
And we didn't have to go through Andrew Garfield.
No.
We went adjacent to him twice, but we didn't go to him. It would have been quicker if we had gone through him.
So, one more, do you think? Well, we could probably... Well... Yeah?
Yeah, one more.
Okay.
Let me put up the generator again.
No.
Alright. Number between 1 and 10?
Oh.
Are you going 3 again?
No, I'm not.
Oh, it's a shame, because I recognise number 3.
Who is number 3?
Number 3 is Freddie Highmore.
Yes, all right. Was he in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the remake?
He was
Charlie?
in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Because Charlie and the Chocolate Factory focuses more on Willy Wonka, and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory focuses more on Charlie. Yeah, okay. Freddie Highmore. He's also in The Good Doctor, and that's been trending lately because he has a little rant.
Yeah.
Fucked it. I fucked it.
And I've done a 1 to 10 again.
Shit.
Do you want to pick the number?
9.
9. Tom Courtenay.
He's an older actor, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't know him.
He was in Would I Lie to You?
That doesn't help me.
Or on Would I Lie to You?
I'm happy for you to pick another number if you'd rather pick another number.
No, I reckon. Because you know Would I Lie to You, don't you?
I've seen the American version a few times, and that's it.
Really? Oh, okay. Well,
I know Clive Anderson was in it, which opens up. Have I got news for you?
He wasn't in it.
Clive Anderson wasn't it?
No, that was That was Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh,
of?
Yeah.
Would I Lie to You is the one.
For some reason, I was thinking about Whose Line Is It Anyway.
Yeah, I did think. Have you seen the American version?
I don't know why.
Why would you only watch the American version of?
I don't know.
But, yeah. Yeah. Fuck it. Let's do that.
All right.
Well, okay. So Tom Courtenay was in. On that. Or do you want to choose a different one? I mean, I can probably work from Tom Courtenay, but
I don't know anything really.
Okay,
easy
we'll
to work
we'll
from it. So I can't. I can only really work from Freddie Highmore. So I would automatically go either you do Johnny Depp or you do Helena Bonham Carter.
Well, let's go to let's choose a different one for Tom Courtenay instead of Tom Courtenay.
All right. Do you want me to regenerate the list, or do you want to pick another person from the list?
10.
Number 10 is Billy Bob Thornton.
I'm not too familiar with him.
He was in Armageddon.
Okay.
I know that much.
Okay.
I don't know much more.
So, Freddie Highmore. Well, Johnny, as you say, Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter are the obvious choices on that score.
Yep.
Oh, no. Helena Bonham Carter was in Harry Potter with Alan Rickman. Alan Rickman was in Die Hard with what's-his-face, Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis, who was in... Yeah,
Armageddon.
okay.
Yeah.
He was also in Sweeney Todd with Alan Rickman.
Yes, she was.
And probably no end of other things as well.
Yeah.
Before his unfortunately timed death. 2016 was a really shit year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want to. I'm gonna have a look what the Oracle of Bacon says of these two. So who was it? It was Freddie Highmore,
Freddie Highmore to Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy, Bob.
I know he was married to Angelina Jolie, and that's it.
They've got it in two. Apparently,
Okay.
Billy Bob Thornton was in primary colours with Mykelti Williamson, and who was in August Rush with Freddie Highmore.
I've seen primary colours.
There's a few others that it's suggesting as well, but nothing that. Oh, but one of the Spiderwick Chronicles came up at one point. Apparently, Billy Bob Thornton was in Love Actually with Bill Nye. I forgot Billy Bob Thornton was in Love Actually. I don't remember that happening. Was he for president?
Yeah, he was. I think I haven't seen it, but I think he was the president who was a dick.
Have you not seen Love Actually?
No.
How have you not seen Love Actually?
Everybody fucking. How have you not seen X, Y, and Z when you tell them? I fucking haven't. I haven't seen Mean Girls either. While we're on this
You
one.
haven't seen Mean Girls?
Yes. Everybody made a
Oh
big
my
deal of that in
God.
sixth form. Went to a
Well.
predominantly female sixth form and hated it. And they all Mean Girls was big at the time.
The Mean Girls is that kind of ridiculous good. Like, it shouldn't be good, really, when you think about what it is, but it works.
Well, I've heard about that for the Barbie film. Apparently, it is exactly the right level of stupid.
Just like Tim Curry's performance as Premier Anatoly Pachenko and his quest to go to space.
Yeah. You tickled pink.
Sorry, bear with. Just carry on without me for a minute.
You're going to get it up, aren't you, so to speak?
No, I'm not going to get it up.
The video, I mean.
I sent it to someone yesterday on Discord, so I can watch it there. I don't even have to.
Oh right, I thought you were going to play it on the thing. I could barely hear that. I'm not sure the audience did.
I turned it down. One place.
So, yeah. Is that a sneeze?
It's because it's the little. It's the holding back the laugh that gets me.
Yeah.
It's not the words. It's the fact that he's trying so hard not to laugh. It shouldn't be happening.
It's a weird mama swine sprite.
Why is it on? It wants to shake your hand. Why are you beating it up?
What?
Oh my god, Keith looks like he's 69 in.
Oh god.
You gotta level him up quick, Ben.
Well, do you like our team?
Yeah.
You don't give a shit. I'm fond enough of them. I've had better teams, but I chose them. You named them, so yes, this is likely to be. I'm glad in a way we're coming to the end of this.
Do you know what you're gonna play after this?
No, yeah. I just want to point out this thing. There was an episode in the anime featuring a crystal onyx. That's what this is based off.
Okay.
Which is pretty neat. Yeah. I have an idea what I'm going to play next.
Okay.
So yes.
Cool. Don't tell me. Just curious if you had something.
Yeah, it was the thing I got on Good Old Games. I've still got some stuff to deal with it.
Is that what God stands for?
Yeah.
No, didn't know.
I need to there's some additional things I need to add to it. I need to figure out how to do that. I may not. It's perfectly workable as it is, but it's not the version I'm used to. So we'll see. Hey ho.
Oh, crikey. I play a bit of Dota every now and again with the lads. I don't know if you know what Dota is. I'm going to assume that you don't.
Not really. Is it like a strategy thing?
Sort of. It's a MOBA, which you don't know the meaning of either, do you?
No,
It's a multiplayer online battle arena
that's been the
game.
screech.
It's like League of Legends,
Mm.
which I'm sure you're probably more familiar with through the
Yeah.
reputation. It's from the same people who made the Half-Life games, but it's not Half-Life related other than the fact that it's made by the people who made the Half-Life game. And I play that with the lads. I have done on and off since like 2014, 2015.
I think is this going to be a long topic because we are basically
No,
done.
no, short topic.
We have beaten our last gym leader, so that's noteworthy.
It's I took a 6-month hiatus from the game because I was getting annoyed with it, and I started playing it again this week, and I found out last night that I'm unable to communicate with team members that aren't people that I'm in a Discord call with because I've been muted for abusive language. But I haven't been abusive to people. I think I've been done by because one of the lads is sometimes a bit arsy with people. He calls from the C word sometimes.
Fair enough, I do too.
And
Thank
yeah,
you.
so I think looking up a by association.
I don't think we've ever spoken to this guy. Yeah, we've done it.
Game over. Congratulations.
So, yes, our team's looking good. So let's go give them a good old rest. And then, it's our final gym. And on that note, see you next time for the grand finale.
Bye, people.
Bye.
Bye.